you are to Family Life on Hope TV. You know, Family Life is your program and it's my program. We have specially designed it to support, educate and inform families about behaviors and attitudes and other challenges that are confronting families. And because of that, we always promise to give you the best. We want to go to the north, to the south, to the east and to the west of families and bring you the issues that will support families to learn and unlearn. And so because of that, today too, we are bringing you an interesting topic that you will love so much. And so I welcome you once again, and I love you so much because you always love Family Life. And I want to thank you also for your contribution that you always give every time that we come here. And so today too, we will need your contribution. We will need your questions. We will open our phone lines. We will open our WhatsApp lines. So you have the opportunity to call, to also phone in. And we also want to remind you that we are on Facebook and YouTube. So you can also go there and watch. Anytime that you want to post any question to, you can post it to any of our lines and we'll be able to reach out to you. Another thing we want to remind you of it is that our resource persons are always available to interact with you even after the program. That is the beauty of Family Life. And so today, once again, you are welcome. We are going to have a very interesting discussion today. And because of that, I want you to take your pen and to take your paper. Call a family and a friend you love so much, somebody you think that you need to invite. Just invite a person to join us. Because today, I have a special guest with me. You know, we always come in twos, but today is special, so we have only one guest. And our guest, I want to just mention the name, introduce him for you to have a feel of him. The topic today is very hot. Very, very hot. And I'll mention the topic to you. So our guest today, we call the guest Paul Sitofe. Paul Sitofe works with Ministry of Local Government and Road Development, Rural Development, Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. He is a department in the Department of Community Development. Yeah. He is in the Department of Community Development. He is a Principal Community Developer Officer. And so he is going to bring us information that is really going on within the communities. Communities, I mean your home. And apart from that, he is also the head of Social Drive Secretariat. You know, he joins an association that is called Ghanaians Against Child Abuse. And this is giving you a clue of what we are coming to discuss. And we can see from him, he's wearing a dress that is unique. Is that You are welcome.
Thank you.
You are so welcome.
Thank you.
This is Family Life.
Yeah.
And we are so glad to have you.
Thank you.
Let me let my viewers know the topic we are going to discuss. I told you the topic is very interesting. Today we are going to discuss about child protection. Does it sound a bell? Yes. So we are going to talk about child protection, and our resource person, Paul Sitofe, is going to take us through child protection. And so once again, you are welcome.
Thank you.
Yes. How is life?
We are doing well. And you?
By God's grace.
Thank you.
And with the COVID and then community development, how is it?
Yes, as you know, COVID has come with a lot of challenges.
Good.
And families are affected, countries are affected, societies are affected, and children are affected.
Good.
That is why we need to talk about child protection.
So with a little introduction, I want to let our viewers know, you know, we have a system that we normally call it, the child don't have any voice. In the olden days, let me use that word, children in our society, let's say in our Ghanaian society, we normally say that children don't have voice. You do as I say. What mother does, what daddy wants is what the child do. But can we continue with this life? Has it been helpful? Do our children really need to be protected? In fact, these are some of the questions that are running through my mind, and our resource person here is ready to help us understand all these issues. So today I will leave the discussion for him alone. He will really educate us on whether children need to be protected or not. So, Mr. Setofe,
Yeah.
you are welcome.
Thank you.
Why should children be protected?
All right. You will bear with me that it is easy or easier to mold a child than to mend a broken adult.
Okay.
In every society, in every community, in every religion, children are seen as precious gifts from God. And as they come into the world, we are all happy. We welcome them with a lot of joy. But after that, what happens? So this evening, we are going to talk about things that we have to do to give our children the right footing. You and I have gone through such things in our life. And the question we have to ask ourselves is, has it been pleasant? Has it been nice, what you went through? If it is not nice, why do we continue the same way? Okay. So this evening, let's look at even the brain development, the importance of the brain development. When children are born, they come with a relatively clear mental window, which we normally call the genes. Yeah, the genes, which is the blueprint that the child came into this world with. And when the child is born, there are connections going on every second, every minute. Then, two important factors, contributing factors, kicks in. That is the experiences and the relationship the children have. So the experiences may be good or may be bad. And that is what will mold a child to become an adult. And that adult will become a good adult, whether an abuser, a friendly person, or somebody who will be hostile or violent to others. You will bear with me that childbearing can be fulfilling and frustrating. And we know that we are all doing what we are doing now as parents based on what we have experienced. We have also experienced something. How we were brought up, the training we went through, the relationship we have with our parents. That is what we are trying to transfer to our children. But research has shown that when a child goes through abuse, it is likely that child also grow and become an abuser. It makes the child timid. It limits the child's potential. That is why this evening we need to discuss and talk about what we can do. Living what we have been doing, what we have been taught, and what has been transferred to us. We all know that most parents sincerely want the best for their children. So we are not blaming anybody, but we need to relook at what we do and see how best we can go about it. There are 4 things you can do as parents, guardians, caregivers to support your children. The first one is what? Showing care to your children. The second one is trying to learn with your children, teach and learn. Then you talk to them, talk with them, play with them. Now, let's look at them. What are the components of being care, showing care to your children? When we say you give care to your children, the best and most important gift any parent, guardian, or anyone who gets in contact with children can give to any child is being loving and what? Affectionate. You must be loving and what? Affectionate. Create routines, things that you do with the child every now and then. Then you what? Set boundaries and what? Be consistent. You do things with the child. If it is early morning, let's do A, B, C, D. You draw the child closer to you from childhood. So as you grow, it is a normal thing. Tell the child, I love you, daddy loves you, you are so precious. When the child goes out and somebody says, I love you, It's a normal thing to the child. If they start, somebody say, oh, you are not beautiful, the child will say, no, my daddy say, I'm beautiful. My mommy say, I'm beautiful. Then the second aspect is what? You learn with the child. This one, we are not saying you should be the classroom teacher. Mm-hmm. Before formal or classroom education, our parents were learning. How do we go about it? Simple calculation. You involve the child, sing song, learn, play games, and draw, write things on the ground with the child. Then you count with the child. You are learning with the child. You get involved in whatever the child does. Homework. Oh, bring it. The child will bring a piece of paper with a drawing on it. Mommy, look at it. Mm-hmm. Oh, you take a look. What is this? What did you draw? You ask questions. The child will tell you what he or she has. You are getting involved in what the child is doing. Children are loud. They want to be on their own. They want to do whatever they want. But as parents, when you get involved in their life and you set boundaries, they are likely to what? Learn from you. They create that relationship is being built. Then they grow with it. Then playing with the children. Boxes, toys. These days we are too glued to our gadgets. We are hardwired to connect. We are hardwired to connect. We need to interact with each other. You see a family on a dining table, everybody is on the phone. Daddy is on the phone chatting with somebody, mommy is on the phone chatting with somebody. At the end of the day, we have no time to play, sing song, draw. And TV has become the number one educator at home. And we don't know what the children are learning, are watching. And at the end of the day, when they get to adolescence, then we say these children are stubborn. We give them bad names. Mm. But we forget that the roles we have to play in their life when they were young, to give them boundaries, give them guidelines, give them stories, things that will engage them, we neglect them. At the end of the day, we give them this thing. So we need to play with our children and what? Also, we need to talk with them. Okay. Talk to your child. A child that is 6 months, 3 months, you may be talking to the child, you think that you are mad. Somebody will look at you from afar and say, oh, this woman. No. The child, as a child is born, I say we are hardwired to connect. So in a room when the child is there alone and there is no movement, no sound, the child will start crying. Mm. It needs attention. So when you pick the child and start talking to the child, he's listening to you, he's looking into your eyes, there is connection, there is engagement. That child gets better. Then when they develop to some level, you listen to them too. That is why one of the rights of the child is what? You listen to their opinion. They have the right to their opinions. So you give them the chance to also express themselves, especially things that concerns them. Okay. Then you ask questions. What do you do today? What was school? What happened at school? The child says, fine. Yes, you didn't ask specific questions. So what did you learn in school today? Mm-hmm. How was the food you ate? Was there any problem in the school? The child will open up to you and talk about what happened, what they are going through. There are a lot of things children are going through that they can't share with their parents because there is a boundary.
Yes.
Children are supposed to be seen, not to be heard. Mm-hmm. That is one of the things we hear in our communities. But I think it is not the best. Children, like any other human being, have rights. Okay. In as much as adults have rights, children too have rights. And their rights, they have specific rights because they are a vulnerable group. They don't have anybody to speak for them. That is why parents must go extra mile to protect them. These days, an age that COVID has come, children are home. Who is taking care of them? Mommy is busy, daddy is busy. Then the children are left on their own. Go and play. We don't know the friends they keep. We don't know the people they talk to. Parents more than ever before, needs to go extra mile to protect their children as far as COVID-19 is concerned. So, in summary, if you do not remember anything in this short discussion, be loving and affectionate to your child. That is the best gift you can give to your child.
Good.
Speak, play, and engage with your child. Involve your child in your everyday life. A child will run to you, "Mommy, mommy, mommy. Oh, don't you see I'm busy?" The child needs attention. Let's give our children attention, and we protect them. That is why at the Department of Community Development Social Draft Secretariat, we have toolkits, things we use to engage communities.
Okay.
We go with pictures because people relate with pictures more than spoken words. So we go engage people, those who have not gone to school before. We have community facilitators who go from communities to communities, engage groups, church groups, women group, teenagers and adolescents, to know what they can do to protect themselves and what parents too can do to protect their children. So if there is time, we'll look at some of them.
We have enough time for us to look at, but I think we need to go for a short, quick break.
Yeah.
And then when we come back, you brought some pictures. We want to go into the pictures to see some of the things. But then I have this question for you.
All right.
You were talking, when you were talking about rights. So you would tell me, do children really have rights?
Okay.
And then you will tell me. So we'll go for a quick break, and when we come, we'll viewers, we are going for a quick break, and then when we come back, we will go through. In fact, this is a very deep lesson that we are all learning, and I want you to really note something down. Ask him more questions, and then let's see how best we can also interact with our children in the home for them to become good adults as you are. So don't go away. If possible, call a friend. We'll be right back. Family. So when we were going, we were just discussing about the various things that we need to do with our children. And if you are now joining us, you are on Family Life. Today we are discussing the child rights, child protection, whether a child needs to be protected or not. This is what we are discussing. And then our resource person is called Paul Zitofe. He is from the Department of Community Development, from the Ministry of Local Government and Rural Development. And then he's the Principal Community Development Officer. At the same time, he's also head of the Social Drive Secretariat, and he joins a group that goes to the community to educate families. And the name is Ghanaians Against Child Abuse. And so if you are joining us, I'm your usual host, Mrs. Betty Adom, with my resource person. We are going through things that we can do to protect the child, right from the day that the child is born till the child becomes adolescent, where he has formed his characters and his behaviors already. and we are contributing to what he will become in future. And so he has talked a lot, and then today he brought some kind of flashcards. I want him to take us through what these are. Maybe some of the things that we are doing, we will see ourselves in there. When we see ourselves, we try to unlearn, because me, I'm going to unlearn. So, Mr. Setofe, can you take us through the various cards that you have?
All right. Thank you very much. We call this facilitation toolkits.
Okay.
Toolkits, they are games, exercises, and flashcards, as you can see, that we use to engage community members, families, to effect social and behavior change.
Okay.
So we believe that when people see cards or these things, they relate to them easily than going to talk to them about what they are not supposed to do.
Okay.
So as you can see, what are we to do to protect our children?
I can see, no, let's go back. Okay. I can see a mother holding the neck of the child.
All right.
And a man carrying a child at the back. Yeah. What are they doing?
Okay.
Because you see two different things. Somebody is being supported, somebody is being beaten. Oh?
Yeah. So as you can see, there are a lot of, as you can see from different things, different things are happening. So you ask yourself, which one is protecting the child?
Okay.
And which one is working against the protection of the child?
Okay.
Okay. So you can see from the first one, maybe the child who is being abused, kidnapped, like the man is carrying the child away. You can, as you can see, okay.
So he is not protecting the child.
Protecting the child, no.
Yes.
Okay, but in the other one here, you can see there's a discussion going on between what?
Families.
The families. And you see the child is given the opportunity to also speak. Now,
so this means that in the family there should be opportunity for children to take part in the decision making.
Decision making and discussion. You know, at that forum they are given the opportunity to talk about what is bothering them. And you will know whether somebody is doing something to the child that is affecting the child psychologically, emotionally, sexually, or physically.
So when we deprive children from taking part in those discussions, what is the effect?
It makes them very timid.
Okay.
It limits their potential. Because in every child, there are a lot of people in the child's life. Some are there to build the protection. As I talk about relationships, what happens when a child is being encouraged to do the right thing? It gives the person the confidence, the child a confidence. But if there is somebody who is abusing the child, when the child does something, the person hits the child, shout on the child. So we'll go through the flashcard so that you look at some of the things that we do. Okay. So we believe so much in our society that when a child does something,
spare the rod
and spoil the child. Please, it doesn't help the child's development. It affects them in their development. So parents, whenever you are angry or something the child has done something that you feel, there are alternative ways of correcting the child, not the cane.
What is really the effect when we do this? Okay,
so physically, you may end up injuring the child. But if it continues, as I said, the child becomes fearful. Whenever maybe a parent or a guardian or somebody, a caregiver, who always hit a child, when that person appears, there is some sort of chemical that is released. The child becomes frightened.
Okay.
Just like a lion appears, the child is frightened. And that chemical, when it continues to stay in the child's life for a long time, a child growing like that will become addictive. Maybe a child can even turn to drugs.
Okay.
That child also grow to become abusive. And I said earlier on that children that are abused, they grow to be adults who lack empathy, gratitude, forgiveness, and humility. They lack these 4 things. And if these people are around you, they are very dangerous.
Mention it. I want to write gratitude, empathy,
forgiveness,
and
humility. Yes.
And I think this is what is killing our society.
That is it. It goes a long way.
Yes.
I was at a program and somebody said, I was beaten and I became what I am today. And that is the sad aspect of it, because we all believe that we were Cain and we become what we are today. But what have we become? Okay? We lack empathy. A lot of people, we sympathize with people.
But we don't empathize with them.
We don't empathize with them. That is why somebody who has become a professional, I don't want to mention any profession, instead of using the position to help people, who abuse the position to put people at a disadvantage.
Okay.
Because you don't empathize with people.
Growing up, he was not shown love.
Love.
So he doesn't have any love to give outside.
Is it. You don't give what you don't have.
Yes.
When there is caring, loving, people know what love is. They feel it. They transfer it. It goes with them. If they become bosses or they become people in leadership, people under them are not slaves. They transfer that love to the people. But if we lack that, somebody, when he gets it, he will capture everything for himself because he doesn't care about others. They can't forgive. They can't say thank you. They don't know that, oh, you have done something for somebody. Thank you. The person must not feel entitled. So abuse goes a long way to take away these
4 key virtues.
Now let's look at another. Now, children that are abused, when children are abused and they see abuse, they see violence, they are neglected, they also transfer that to their environment.
Yes. Because
that is what they see as a norm. So if a community or a group of people believe that children must be treated in a way, that child, as young as that child is, the child is also forming that kind of character. So it's a normal thing for them. So abuse, when you transfer it to the child is also going to what?
And I think this is what is bringing the community destruction of things, beating, killing, without even, oh God.
That is why when there is problem in a school, students can go on rampage, destroying a lot of things. So we need to start from our home. As parents, draw your children closer to you, as early as they are, as young as they are. Involve them. When you have problem, don't transfer your frustration onto the child. When you have problem with your partner or a neighbor, the child is there. It's not the child's fault. If there is no money in the house, there is no food in the house, there is COVID, you are sacked from work, there is no money, the children are at home, it is not their fault. When you feel like saying something bad, bite your tongue. Count 1 to 10. Because if I hit you, my sister here, with my hand, you will charge me for assault.
Yes.
But the same hand, when we use it to slap a child, we call it what? Discipline.
Discipline.
How can you give the same thing different names? Because it's meted out to different human beings.
The child is under your authority. Wow.
Okay, which one are we looking at? Now, this is another common thing that, as you can see that my brother, see how that brother is. The things that are coming out of the mother's mouth against the child, we give our children different names because they are children. It destroys their confidence. Please, verbal abuse. Then, this COVID era, people are using their children. We are not saying that children should not help their parents in work activities to support, but it must be age specific. Anything you do that affects the child development is an abuse.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that the work the child is engaged in our society, people go for family members' children to come and stay with them to help them in work activities. But do we consider the age of the children before we involve them? This COVID era, we have to be careful. Children, a child is allowed to go and sell deep in the night. It's going on.
This one really disturbed their sleeping pattern.
That is it.
And I think when you are not getting enough sleep. I know children must have some range of sleeping period.
Yeah.
How does that
8 to 9 hours. They
Okay.
must rest. Children must rest. Even as adults, you know, when you rest, the brain is able to rewire or rejuvenate itself. So the body and the brain must rest. As children, people engage children to the extent that the child is working and is still dozing.
Yes.
This affects the child even if
they will beat. They will also
hit the child. You are a lazy child. Yeah. So these things are happening in our communities. Please don't say that it does not concern you and let it continue. You see, an abused child who is in the community one day will visit you. Will be visiting you. It can be your children that person will abuse later. That person can become a teacher and transfer that abuse. So that person can become a professional. I don't want to mention a profession. Then you go, okay, take for example, a child that is abused to the extreme and become a nurse. That person will not empathize with you. Okay, you go as you are in labor, you are struggling. That person is WhatsApping. Okay, so this thing happen in profession. The person can become a police officer. When he arrests you, you handcuff you and kneel on your neck. And you will shout, "I can't breathe." And he will press you till you die. That person doesn't have human feeling. Okay, all these things stem from what? Childhood. So abuse should be frowned on. That is why we are calling on everybody. Social Drive Secretariat is coordinating and helping every organization that wants to fight against child abuse. We are there to come and have discussion with you.
Okay.
We are just trying to unlearn things that we've been deceived to say that children, cane must be something that will discipline children. We call discipline a punishment, caning people. No, it is not that way. We have to learn new things. So a child is selling, the time that the child is supposed to be in classroom, others are in school, the child is
selling.
And you see the age.
Yes.
Okay. So we people.
So here what we are saying is that it's not about the matter of the selling.
No.
But at the time the child sells,
Yes.
the age.
The age.
And then what next?
The age and the pressure that activity puts on the child.
On the child.
Because if you are young and you are carrying a heavy load, going around thinking, some of them don't even eat. When you go to the streets right now, you see most children are hawking water and all those things. We are not saying that they shouldn't support. Parents, somebody will argue that, yes, there's no food in the house, they have to go and work. But do they do that at the detriment of their development? Last
year, I nearly knocked down a girl.
Okay.
In fact, I was driving, I was monitoring this BEC at the time when the children were having exams. So from one school, I was just passing, and this police car was on a top speed. I think they were going somewhere.
Yeah.
And the child wanted to cross the road. So in the middle, immediately the child crossed the car. So he just fell in front of my car.
Yeah.
I always say it took the hand of God. Immediately the car stopped. She was carrying big buckets, and I picked, everybody knew that the child was dead.
Yeah.
But I went there, she was just lying in front of the car. I picked her, we sat somewhere, we cried. She cried and I cried with her. I gave her the time to cry and cry for more than 30 minutes. We were all crying. And at the end I called her, why? She said, Mommy, if I don't sell, they won't give me money. don't you go to school? I say, no, I'm the one who is selling to support the family. And I believe this is what we are talking about. So one, look at the situation. If had it not been God, one, she would have lost her life, or she would have even become disabled for life.
Yeah. So we need to consider all those things. Children as to support, but don't do it that will affect the child's development. It is happening too much now in our heart. Yeah. So as you can see, these things abuses. If you leave children, there are a lot
this can even lead to rape.
That is it. Defilement.
Yeah.
So the child is hawking something deep in the night or daytime and has moved into the wrong environment.
Wow.
So people will take advantage of them. And an abuse, whether sexual, physical, lives with people for life. It stays. It takes difficult working on the person for the person to overcome it. Then when a child is abused physically, sexually, emotionally, it lives with them. A lot of people we see, they are like walking around, but deep within them, they are carrying a lot of baggages.
Because of bitterness.
Yes, we neglect them, we abuse them, and they are exploited. So they are there with bitterness. And every least, they also vent it on others. Yeah. That is why we need to start now. The next generation, today, 10 years ago, what we did not do is the result we are having today. We can make a change. We cannot, nobody can stop violence. Nobody can stop abuse. We have to make the decision. As a father, mother, it is not a pride. It is not a prestige. When you are entering the house, every child is running under carpet, running under table. It is not that.
Daddy is coming.
Daddy is coming. Yeah, mommy is coming.
Mommy is coming.
Everybody must run under. No, your children must be your friends.
I think we have a lot of people on the line. And so whilst we are moving on, we want to give our viewers the permission to also phone in, come in with your questions and then your contributions. So those who are on the line, very soon the line will be open for you, and then the WhatsApp group too, you can send in your comments and your discussion. Okay, so 030 2959 065. So you can call this number and then you can send us your WhatsApp on our WhatsApp line. Okay, so we can continue. Now.
So these are, okay, as you can see, cracking stone and all those things. Now, parents who neglect their children, because now they are home 24/7, they are not going to school, we don't monitor what they watch. And it is bad to expose the children to pornographic, and if we don't take time and guide them, we go to places and pick people who have completed school, so come and stay with us and take care of our children. We don't know their background. We don't know what they have gone through. We don't know the character they are carrying. You leave your children with them, and they will teach them what you don't expect.
Yes.
So everybody is a potential.
Everybody is a potential.
Yeah, okay.
Wow.
Now, look at this particular one. Now, most of the time when a child is defiled or these things happen, we blame the child. What did you go there to do? Why did you enter the room? Please, when we protect the children, we engage them, we educate them, and we draw them closer to us, it will be difficult for them to fall in the hand of the wrong people. But if that is not done and the child falls into the hand of the wrong people, we do not have to blame the child. And community people should not say, this person is a big man, so let's settle it in the house. People collect 1,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis, and say, oh, let's settle in the house. This is a big man's son, a big man's daughter. Let's bury it. Please, you have destroyed somebody's life.
Okay, somebody is on the line, so let's speak. Hello, my dear. You are welcome to Family Life. Your name and your contribution.
Okay. My question is, Bible say, young fa into Swaban into Nakalano. Na your church in a comma. But say, I'm far, I abanzo and center number Panoa. You done say, oh, and a writer. But they say, the you a school. Now, no be a more passive for you. Almost not teaching him catch and say, almost years or you know. Because they say, you waba and Tiziano Colano, and then the Waba was school, the American Colano, and you know, almost ya, which means that I see them master to Omaka. But the Jao say, oh, I am right since you Jao, and ya how Kakana.
Yo, thank you very much, Daddy. I'm happy with your question. But one thing we have to know is that children must know that rights come with responsibility.
Yes.
Yes, every child who has a right has a responsibility. So if we start teaching them from childhood that is why in my first submission earlier on, I said we should set boundaries for the children. When they know the boundaries, what they are not supposed to do, and they go over it or they cross the boundary, they know there are penalties. What we are saying is that the penalty may not necessarily be the cane. There are other positive disciplining mechanisms. That is what we are saying. So rights come with what? Responsibility. And we are saying that instead of maybe caning the child, if, for example, a child likes a particular program on the TV, if we say, if you don't do your ABCD, you are not going to watch your favorite cartoon, or you are not going to play football, you are not going to play with this thing. From childhood, the child knows that he or she must what? Be within some limit. Okay? But if we leave them, there are children too, when you start caning them or beating them to some time, they become hardened.
Yes.
After all, Daddy will beat me. So the person finished doing the wrong thing and say, after all, that is what you do to me. But I think from childhood, if you train the child, don't do this, don't steal, don't pick people's things that do not belong to you. As Christians, the child will follow. And it will not even get to a point where we need to use the cane. Thank you.
I think another person is on the line. Hello, my dear caller. Your name and where you are calling from.
Hello.
And your contribution, please. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, please, your name and where you are calling from, and then your contribution.
Mbacho, yes, because I feel Kumasi.
You can say for him, Pacho.
Because I feel Kumasi.
Okay, okay.
And the Midra, no. I said, no, I don't know you will. Midra, Obisawa, she. Muya, no, I don't know. She, I might. I am saying, why?
Okay. Yo, yati. Yeah, the tree ni Rebecca Hoa, yeah, that's very. Okay, so let's continue with the discussion.
Yes. So, as I said.
But excuse me, let me give out the WhatsApp line so those who wants to test can also test. 055 968 0066. 055 968 0066. So you can send us your contribution through the WhatsApp line, and if you want to also ask questions, you can ask questions through the WhatsApp line. We'll also ask your question, and then we will read your question, and our resource person will answer for you. Please, you can continue.
Thank you very much. I also want to add to my daddy's question that, you see, we have been caning people, we have been using the cane over time, but still, we still have people who do not conform.
Yes.
So we need to balance it. There are alternative ways. Next time, maybe we'll have time, we'll look at positive discipline or positive parenting, and that will help us a lot. This
yes, another call is in.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, my dear viewer, where you are calling from? Your name and where you are calling from. Welcome to Family Life.
Another call is in.
My name is Enoch Amwa, calling from Kumasi.
Okay.
Thank you. My name is Enoch.
Mipa Cholo, TV ne kakra, am I a feedback?
Mipa Cholo, person bisa say, no, bicycle.
Hello. Okay. So, Pacho, continue with it.
So this is another thing that happens a lot in the school when children try to abuse each other, and when we train them well from home, I don't think these things will happen.
And I think this is a child who has not received love in the house.
That is it.
So when they are being given small attention in the outside or in the school, they fall for it.
That is it. That's why I keep telling parents that I ask, when I'm doing training, I ask them, when was the last time you told your husband or your wife, I love you? When you do it in front of the children, they pick it. You tell your son, daddy loves you, mommy loves you. It is a normal thing to them. So when they go out and a boy or a girl says, I love you, it's not a new thing. But if it is...
Okay, sorry. Let's pick at this call. Hello, my dear viewer. Welcome to Family Life. Your contribution and question and your name and where you are calling from. Okay.
My name is Enoch Amwa, calling from Kumasi.
You are welcome. Thank you for coming back.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
But I person besides no a bag for 8 years. Now me pese usia dia unsia da. Ni ma me be ka ba ni ma me ka so papa ba. Na me fa ba eno de no akwa akwetena. Eno no sa no ni na akwa no. Na say eno de na
Yes, it's an interesting thing. For all you know, maybe from childhood, the character or the interest has not been developed to that level. So it's like you are putting her into a new behavior. That is how I'm looking at it. If the child is for example, you take your child, say, I'm reading, let's read. You involve them, you are reading with them from childhood. She's used to it. It's not a new thing for her. Now, don't let her see you as a disciplinarian or somebody who is coming to cane her for not reading.
Good.
But at 8 years old, I think she should be able to understand issues. So when you draw her closer and you discuss, you see, before you can influence somebody or win friends, the person must know that you have interest in her.
Okay.
So you are not forcing her to learn, but you have interest in her to become somebody in the future. You can start by asking her, my daughter, what do you want to become in the future? Oh, I want to become a nurse. I want to become a teacher. Yes, if you don't learn, you cannot become a teacher. So today, I want you to read 2 pages. When you finish reading, come and tell me the story you have read. She will come and do it. You praise her for doing it correctly. You are keeping the interest. You are encouraging her. It shouldn't be a sudden thing. If the person is not interested, you do it for the person to know that you have a keen interest in her, not for her to do it for you, but for herself.
And I think this is one of the biggest issues we are facing. We have now let learning be a punishment.
That is it.
Not interesting. So we don't have lifelong learning anymore.
No.
Let me learn for you. Okay. There is another caller on the line. Hello, my dear caller. You are welcome. Welcome to Family Life. Your name and where you are calling from.
Thank you. I'm Jonas, calling from Takrady.
Jonah, you are welcome. How is Takrady?
Thank you. Oh, everything is good by God's grace.
We thank God. We thank God. Thank you too for joining us. Your question, please.
Wow, it's a nice program, and I just enjoy it.
Thank you.
You see, nowadays, let me see, different parents cannot discipline a child, because in the olden days, when even you are doing wrong things, even if your parents didn't tell you to stop, an elderly person can tell you that. But nowadays, They are just concentrating on their parents.
Okay. Okay. Okay, so I think what he's trying to say is that now the collective correction of children
Yes.
is no more. It's now individualism, my family and my children.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
That is why we are encouraging cycle of support.
Okay.
There's a flashcard, we do cycle of support. That is why we look at communities, society, families.
Okay.
Children are born into families. It is the responsibility of everybody to support that child to attain the height. Now, if you don't show interest in me and I'm doing something wrong and you come that you are disciplining me, I'll not listen to you.
Yes.
But let's cultivate that. Show interest in the person from childhood. You see, so when the person is going wrong and you call that person to order, the person will listen to you. But we sit down, unconcerned, you don't, like, take, for example, a father, you don't pay my school fees, you don't do anything. When I'm going wrong, will you come and discipline me? So what I'm saying is that I understand that in the past, somebody can just catch you and whip you on the street. But we have gone past that level. What we are saying now is that we should try and learn new things and go about it differently. Gone are the days we walk from Takoradi to Accra. we write letter 3 years or 3 months before it gets to Accra. But now things are not like that. 1 minute, it is gone. We are accepting technology, we are accepting new things, but we are not accepting the way
we train our children.
We want to do it the olden way, the same old way. Cane, no. And we always call discipline like caning person. No, discipline, if you go into the definition of discipline, it is not about caning, it's about learning and teaching. Okay, so it's about learning and teaching. Who is teaching and who is learning? We are all learning from each other. You have to even study the children now, because things that the children are exposed to these days were not there in the past. Children are 5 years ahead of their age. So you don't treat them like the way you were treated in it. Some of us, maybe you completed university before you even know what a mobile phone is. But right now, children can do a lot of things on the gadget. So we need to be abreast of the time and know how to handle the children. And it will be easy for us.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we have some few questions. I hope you had wanted to talk to us on this one.
Yes.
What we have to. So let's quickly run through and then we will go the questions.
We can also look at children as a maize plant.
Yes.
Yes. Children, everybody, we all know that when you plant a maize, for the maize to yield proper fruit, you have a responsibility to till the ground, to add manure.
Okay.
Okay. To mulch it. That is a child for you. You have to do all these things. You don't just give birth to a child and leave the child and think that something good will come out of it.
So I think with this one is very, very interesting. Maybe next week we may continue from here.
Okay.
Very, very interesting.
Right.
And we have some few questions for you so that we use it to wrap up. He's saying that I'm Joseph Brenya. Good evening, please. Is it appropriate to discuss what to cook with your kids? What to cook in the house? You have to.
Yes, you see, even as a leader, see, parenting and leadership are not far from each other. You know what your capacity is.
Yes.
Oh, today what do you want us to cook? You know already what you have, but you are giving that child the opportunity to what? Express themselves. Oh, today this is what I have. Let's manage this. Tomorrow, what you are asking for, I'll cook for you. The child gets involved. School selection. You just decide, I'm your father, I'm the one paying school fees. So you must go to this school or you must take this course. It doesn't really help. So you discuss with them, but not necessarily taking what they have said. Okay, we have yam and we have rice. Which one do you think we should take?
Okay.
You, the parents, knowing the nutritional value of what you want to give to the child, you will decide, but you involve them. Just like even a boss in the office, you allow others to talk, but you take the final decision, letting them know that they have been given the opportunity to express themselves.
Good. In fact, we have a lot of questions here to answer. A lot. But viewers, we want to assure you that next week we are coming back to complete the discussion. So all these questions will be addressed next week. Please don't be offended. We know you love us so much and we love you. We are always there for you. So we'll keep the questions here. Next week you add more. We'll have a few discussions and be able to interact with you to know what you have and what we are also giving. So he will give you the last word, and maybe if you want to share your contacts with them, in case somebody wants you to do further. Because for us, Family Life, we do postmortem. We want to reach out to our community.
All right.
So you give parents his last word and then his number.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can contact me on 0246 999 724. 0246 999 724.
Okay. And your last words to parents in conclusion.
Yes. We always say children are the future leaders.
Yes.
But there is no tomorrow without today.
Yes.
So let's treat them, let's say tomorrow is there. 10 years ago, we didn't do something. That is where we are today. What can we do from now onwards? We need to protect them. I said earlier on that it is easier to mold a child than to mend a broken adult. It goes with people into marriage, into work life, and a lot of people are feeling the pain because they have been abused, neglected, and exploited.
Yes.
For us to have a good society where people are empathetic, people are grateful, they can express gratitude, they can forgive each other and be humble, we need to protect children. So that tomorrow, when you go to the hospital, you go to see a doctor, it is not an abused person who has risen to that level. The person will be able to handle you and treat you well with empathy. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sitofe.
Yeah.
In fact, this is one of the wonderful sections we've had so far.
Thank you.
And I'm so grateful.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Thank you for the education. And I believe you are promising our viewers that you are coming next week to continue.
Yes.
So on that note, we say thank you for that.
Thank you for having me too. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So my dear viewer, this is the reason why Family Life is there. It's there for you. It's there for me. One thing we are requesting from you, when we discuss and we are not able to put into practice, Family Life will not be Family Life. What we want to see is that will we be able to influence decision making in the various homes, that the practice that we are so glued to will be able to unlearn. For me, I'm a victim. I'm going to change because I like beating. From my background, I'm a teacher, and so I'm stopping. Can you also stop yours for me so that together we can have children? He gave us four core values. Children who will be grateful, who will be empathetic, not just sympathizing with people, but they will put themselves in the shoes of their friends or whoever they are treating and know that if you do this, if you are the one doing this to me, how will I feel it? So I won't do it to another person. We'll have children who will forgive and children who will be humble. We are talking about our schools, that children can stand in front of their teachers and say, I won't do it. Why is it so? Because we've not taught them how to be humble. We are abusing them. So how will they behave outside? Until next week, the same time, Thursday, 8 p.m., we want you to make a date with us. But we are pleading that share this message with your friend. Within your community, be a watchdog over there. Let an adult hear the message. And let's all together build a better Ghana for the sake of the children, for the sake of the future. When you are 50 years, that child, which is 5 years now, he will be taking care of you. Imagine how the person will treat you when you abuse the person. I believe you will enjoy next week too. So stay tuned and God bless you until we meet again. Have a nice evening.